Hey, teacups. Welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. I'm your girl, Monica. Joining me this afternoon are Teacup affiliates, Schoolboy. Hey, Schoolboy.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good, y'all.
Good. We have the Bishop in the building.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. Good. And Plaz will be with us shortly. So hang tight. But we're going to go ahead and get the party started. First and foremost, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I need you to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, bang that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the piping hot tea that we spill on this channel. And while you're at it, you might as well hit that like button. Those likes help us out so much. All right, teacups, on the agenda this afternoon, we are recapping Belle Collective, Season 1, Episode 4. Marie explodes after Kaylon uses her white privilege for sympathy. Let's get into it.
A website called All About the Tea.
She told all about the tea that during the fight.
All right, y'all. What did you think of the overall episode? I thought this one was good.
It finally brought the that we was waiting on it episode-wise, because it started off super slow.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it was dragging a lot. But it finally brought us something. You know, I was clutching my pearls when that city councilman got up. He had to go. It got too real.
Oh yeah. That was the best part of the whole episode. That was like the drama, like cut the shit. Get to the drama. You know, that's my favorite. I don't need no small talk. I don't need to see you. I mean, the Civil Rights Museum was nice. I can go to that on my own. I know what it's all about. Listen, just cut to the chase. Just give me the drama. All right, y'all. So the episode starts with Tambra basically using the segment to give us a rundown of her resume and not having kids, waiting until she was 40. And now she's thinking about, starting a family. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Tambra because personally, I think she's boring and she doesn't need to be on the show. What are your thoughts, Schoolboy?
Boring. We could have fast forwarded that. I mean, your career choices is your career choices. Everybody has a destiny and whether they want children or not, or when they decide to have kids, or if they don't decide to have kids. Most people that do work in the entertainment industry, they don't want to have kids because, like the friend Ramona was saying, like the kids would always be with the nanny. So I would not really be there, and I don't really want to subject kids to that. So that's just being responsible with your eggs and your time. That's my gist of it.
Mm-hmm. She's so boring. I can't. She borrowed Bishop's hat to go on the date. I was just like, girl, I'm going. And who shows up on a date with a freaking hat like that? And mind you, she got about 100 bundles of hair in her head. So you don't need a hat on top. Girl.
I was going to ask, is that a South thing? Because I don't understand why you got to have 11 bundles in your hair.
No, I mean, 4 should be the limit. I like a nice, luxurious, full, if I'm going to wear some hair now, I want it to be luxurious. But come on now, that's just doing too much.
4 is max.
4's the max. Mm-hmm. Sincere, thank you so much for the super chat. Bishop, Tom Brady, or Patrick Holmes? Who are them people? Harper, who that?
It's football.
Oh.
I would say, but who I like better? Neither, but if I would pick who's better, I would say Tom Brady cheated a little bit. So I'll say Patrick Holmes.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
His mother said some pro-Trump supportation. I'm not.
Who did? Tom Brady?
No.
Oh, the other one. See, I don't even know.
No, Tom Brady did too. So
yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
Was up front with his.
Yeah, Tom Brady was too. Both of them were.
Okay.
But we talking about the sports part. We're not talking about their political.
I mean, even still, I think Tom Brady's going to son him, though, anyways.
Yep.
Bishop, what are your thoughts on Tambra? Do you even want to talk about her? Does she matter?
She don't matter. She should have been a friend of the show. It could have been 4 successful women without her.
So she's not successful, Bishop?
No, she's successful, but she's not TV friendly. So she should have been just a friend. Because you say she's just a friend.
She's literally using the show for what it's intended for, to, raise awareness, bring awareness to her platform or whatever the hell it is she does. But she's boring.
Somebody said her voice is annoying. My Twitter followers said her voice is annoying, and they really can't get through a whole episode with her voice. So maybe.
I'm bothered by the nose too. All of it, just everything. Just the nose, the voice, the hair, the bundles, the hats, the one Chanel bag that she keep taking all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I try to be nice.
Can we just say this? She need to quit trying to play like she look young. I looked at her in this episode. I'm like, good God. If you don't get enough sleep, age will show.
I mean, it just reminds me of a Carly Red knockoff. It just really, it's really just bothering my spirit.
She looked like she could be Carrie Hilson's mama. I like she's Miss Carrie baby.
Ain't that something, child? Y'all a mess. Y'all is a mess. Oh, I just got Pleasant's note, so she won't be on, right? She okay.
She said she do be on. She have to keep her avatar on because she'll be in the car.
Okay. Oh no, don't. If one of y'all can respond to that, I just read it in the group chat. Just let her know. No, don't drive and be on here. That's just too much. Unless she's not driving, All right, y'all. So an avatar's fine. I use mine. I have no complaints. Even though I'm getting somebody to spruce mine up, I'm gonna have a bun. I'm gonna have hairstyles. Watch, y'all see. Y'all gonna see.
Okay.
Gotta get all fancy, huh?
Just a little bit. All right. All right, y'all. So up next is Latisha. She's meeting with the appraisers on Ferris Street. She's serious about this renovation and bringing Ferris Street back. The property she wants to buy is not up for sale, and the cost of the reno is upwards to $1.5 million. But she's hopeful. She has her eyes on the prize. Let's just talk about that for a little bit. Schoolboy, your thoughts?
I mean, what he was telling her is kind of true. When you buy historical property, you can't necessarily buy it because it is a part of the city. It's historical. You necessarily are not able to buy it. You can look to buy it years later down the line. If they're willing to, purchase, if they're willing to let it go. But typically, that's already embedded with the city. So I kind of understood that. Plus, there are special renovations that you have to do with stuff that's historical. So I think that I feel her vision and I know exactly what she's trying to do. But I think where the money and all the steps, I don't think she really realized how much it was going to honestly take and what it was going to all entail that she was going to have to do in order to put that together. Because that's not going to be an overnight flip into a business. That's going to be a process of over several years in order to get it up to code, get it where it needs to be, and then also having enough investors with enough capital and money to even do that, because that's going to be a huge overhaul. But I was feeling and I was loving the vision and I was loving what she was doing, but I just don't think she did the back end research as far as all the other steps that were going to have to be taken as far as the financial aspects and the renovations.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I think her heart's in it. I think she really wants to really badly bring Ferris Street back to life, but I think the resources involved are over her head. Yeah. Hopefully she can pull the right team of people. And that means venture capitalists, business people in the community, not just these women. This is way bigger than these women. You know what I'm saying?
She's gonna have to have some corporations backing her, Monica, because this is gonna be this is gonna be a serious project, and I don't really think she really thought that process all the way through on that end right there.
No, she sure didn't. Bishop, what are your thoughts on that scene and Latisha taking on this project? Can she do it?
She can do it. I like her ambition, and anybody have an ambition to say, oh, this is going to be an uphill battle, but I'm here for it. She said, I'm hopeful and she's optimistic about it. So a person like that will get it done. But like what Schoolboy is saying, it's going to take a while. Now she need to get in her mind that it's not going to be, a year or two. It's going to be longer than a year or two. But once I see, she's like one of those women that if her eye is on the prize, she's gonna get it done. And I like the fact that she was working with her brothers. That to me that was beautiful because that shows you how that shows you how we're supposed to come together and work together as a team and not everybody's separate. She's like, it's just me and my girls. No, she showed that she want to work with brothers too. And it showed you that unity in the community and how it's supposed to be done. And those brothers had high positions, the contractor of the city. I was like, okay. And then like the mayor and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is what's up.
City councilman and stuff.
City councilman. I enjoyed that. I was like, I'm here for the unity and and how they had respect for one another. And that's a beautiful showing that Carlos did on TV that we need to see. Yeah,
absolutely. And it also shows, it made me hopeful because she's taking it seriously. This is just not a storyline. She's bringing decision-making people into the project. And, I'm hopeful for her. I really want to see that whole thing to the end. Even if it takes 5 years, Carlos, we gotta ride this out. You got to keep us updated because I'm interested in now. I knew nothing about Mississippi, really. I mean, I knew Jackson, Mississippi, but this Farish Street, now I want to go research it and do some, some historical fact checking and stuff. I love it. I love it. I'm hopeful for her. And if anyone on that cast can do it, I think she can.
And she's my favorite character too.
She is. And she's pretty. Isn't she pretty?
She's beautiful, and she has a beautiful spirit. Like there's some people that just do not have beautiful spirits. It's like you're pretty on the outside, but there's nothing on the inside. It's like a hollow tree. And then there's some people that's not so aesthetically pleasing, but they have a beautiful spirit. But then she got both, and she's a big girl too. You know what I mean?
You like them big girls, don't you, Bishop?
I like a little meat on my bones,
I know that's right.
Keep you warm at night. Shoot, keep you warm in the wintertime. It's cold.
It's tough. I understand. AJG317. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. I feel the same way too. And her husband, he's good looking too. I saw some photos on her Instagram and I commented and she responded. They're a very nice looking couple. They look young. They look really, really young together. All right, y'all, we're going to keep this train moving because we got 2 recaps today. So up next is Marie and her son at the counseling session. Okay. Her son's name is Jerez. They're seeking therapy after his violent blow up where he punched a hole in the wall. Marie gave birth to Jerez at 18. And because she lost her mother to addiction at a young age, and when I say lost, I mean the mother's alive, but lost her being a parent in her life. So after 9, Marie was pretty much motherless. Okay. She explains to us, she overcompensates to make up for the loss of her mother. And that involves coddling and spoiling Jerez. And as a result, he pretty much gives her his ass to kiss. And he takes, her love and her kindness for granted. He's not appreciative. And the therapist advises him to change his attitude, but breaks it down in a basketball type of way so Jerez can understand, like a game. He tells him to grow up, control his emotions and his temper. Let's sound off on that. Schoolboy, what were your thoughts on the therapy session?
Waste of time. And I'll be honest, I mean, he's not going to learn anything from that. His mother has created the monster that she sits in front of her, unfortunately. When you spare the rod, spare the rod, spoil the child, she has spoiled him way too much, and he takes it for granted because she's given him everything. He doesn't know what it is to earn it. at 21 with 3 children underneath one, that's a problem. Number one, right there.
Mhm.
Number one, that is a problem right there.
Yeah.
You ain't even 25 years old. Are you going to continue to keep running around here making children that you're not supporting? And I do understand, Marie wants to make up for the fact that her mother was not around, but also she needs to heal that within her as well, because she don't realize she's bleeding on her children and everything, anything around her, because she's not healed. His problem is that as long as mama gonna keep opening up the wallet, I'ma just keep on doing what I want to do. If it was my mother, she would have been put me out in the street. And first of all, them kids, them ain't my responsibility. You went out here and you made them. You figure it out. You take care of them. But I'm not supporting you, your baby mothers, your children. That is not my responsibility. She needs to make him step up and be a man. And the only way that he's going to actually do that is if she puts him out on the street and makes him figure it out. But as long as she keeps paying for the schooling and she pays clothes on his back and his kids, and baby mamas is coming in talking about they need tutoring sessions, and are you gonna pay? Kind of looking at you like, so you're paying for it. She's made him comfortable, and he don't fear the need of her ever cutting him off, and that's why he does what he does. And it's really sad. We have a society of grown people in their 20s and 30s that feel like the world owes them something. The world don't owe you nothing. He needs to learn how to get out here and get it.
Absolutely. Very entitled. I just want to address this comment really fast. Tina, thank you so much. If I want the real and honest tea, I can always count on y'all to give it to us. Thank you. It's really, really sweet. Lord Samuel says white privilege don't exist. Well, he here trolling y'all. Go easy. Go easy.
There's some people that believe that.
Absolutely. Bishop, your thoughts on the therapy session? It was, this is the result of, spoiling a child, like Schoolboy said.
I'm going to say this. I see it a little differently, just from the man's perspective. She's financially abusing her husband and the son. Well, we're going to stick to the son. You can tell she lords her money over his head to get him to do what she needs him to do. And she got used to doing that at 18 when she had him at 18. And it goes back, like we said, her overcompensating for her mother's love, the lack thereof of her mother's love, and her losing her mother at 9, not physically, from death separating her, because they said children can process death better than the parent leaving them. So she can't process it because her mother's still physically alive, but she chose substance over her. And this goes to show you where he gets his anger from. He gets it from her. You know how aggressive and angry she is towards the first episode with what's her name? I forgot her name. Latrice.
Latrice.
Yes, and how just really mean and nasty she was, and then she's confused by why her son is doing it. Oh, he's just a carbon copy of you. Take a look in the mirror. So for her trying to try to check him, to get the therapist to check him, I'm like, ma'am, you made this monster, like Schoolboy said, and then now you're trying to make it like, oh, he's the problem. No, it starts from the root. You the problem. Honestly, and first and second of all, it shouldn't have been both of y'all in therapy together. He needs his own separate therapy session, and you need your own separate therapy session, because he's not going to say what he want to say while you're sitting there. Because my mom had learned some stuff when my brother had a separate therapy session, and she looked over the paperwork and she's like, wow. And she's like, he told the therapist a lot of stuff he would never told me. So,
Bishop. Yep.
Yeah. So it goes to show you that there's more to this story, because she know the cameras is there. This is why she know when to turn on and turn up, and then try to act real docile and in front of everybody in the family. And them men probably be like, this is not her. This is not her. and to be honest with you, with them 3 kids, them 3 kids that her grandchildren, that's her fault. Because I've asked some girls, like, where's your mama at?
I've been asking that since this started. Where's their parents at?
But it goes to show you the son learning from her. He probably preying on young girls that don't have a mama.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Bishop, you really broke it down.
Mabel King, thank you so much for the super chat. Marie created that monster. Unfortunately, she needs to cut off the baby mamas and he needs to pay for the children, not her. That's true. But you raised some good points, Bishop. Now you got me thinking. Okay.
Yeah, you
Well,
got
you
my
know
mind.
what? Well, I'm kind of surprised. Two things that you mentioned that have me thinking. That financial control. That's like Candy Burris. That's what she do. She used her money to control the men and the children. You know, and the mom. Well, yeah, I guess the money calms the mama down. You know, when mama act up, it's like, okay, let me throw a house at you, and you know, she'll never find a man that's more dominant over her, Candy, because or have more money than her. She don't want a man like that.
She don't.
No. She wants to be in control. She wants to wear the dildo. I understand. I get it. I understand. Okay.
You said she wanted to wear the deal.
She want to wear it. She, you know, she like little min. She like who that girl? What's her face? Tiny 2.0. She want to wear it. You know, she want to be in charge.
Who's in charge of the girls?
Right, and that's what I be thinking about Tiny and T.I.'s relationship. Tiny know how to put on the air because she has a white mother. See, I'm gonna say this. I'm no offense to white women, but they know how to dominate indirectly. Because they know how to play that submissive role in front of everybody, but they sitting there and running everything like the madam. Now she's a quiet madam, but Candy Burris is raised by a black mama, so she's a overt madam. There's two different types of madams that know how to dominate and run things. One that's kind of quiet, and the other one that has a husband looking crazy out there doing a bunch of foolishness. You notice Todd is nice and stuff like that because she got a dude that know that role quite well, like with his mother.
That's right. That's right.
Because I remember when Mama Joyce and them did get beefed out, him and his mom, like that was serious. That was crucial for a minute.
I enjoyed it too.
Oh, that was the best. Aunt Bertha, this must have been a scheme that Todd cooked up. None of you with the bullshit. Listen, them old ladies don't play. They really are a gang, you know, and it's generational. That's why Candy act the way she do. Like I said, she wear the dildo, y'all. All right, y'all. Moving right along. Tambra. Okay, before Tambra goes on her date that nobody cares about, Latisha, Antionette, they go to the Civil Rights Museum to talk about unity and women empowerment. They're both overcome with emotion as they stroll through the museum and view historical racist events. This also reminds Antionette why she decided not to have biracial children and instills a sense of Black pride in her and encouragement to open a dental practice to serve her people. Let's touch on that for a little bit. I mean, I know it was boring, but it was also, you know, it was a moment. We had a moment. Schoolboy, your thoughts?
I mean, it was great to see the historical, things that happened in Black history. Of course, I mean, I lived in Maryland, and DC was nothing for you to go to the Smithsonian, and when they had like the huge exhibits with everything Black, and it helps you appreciate your culture. I thought it was a great moment. Yes, it was a boring moment in between, but it was cool that they kind of was able, I've learned between Latisha and Antionette that we shade each other, but at the end of the day, we can still be around each other, be cool. We can have conversation. We can talk about women's empowerment. We can be do that. Where I'm just still perplexed with Antionette is that you married a white man and you still talking about how you didn't want to have biracial children. My thing is, why say you open to dating all races, but then you have this complexity about having biracial children? That's what I'm either I'm missing something in the editing. Carlos and them didn't mess with the editing or something. Or I'm trying to understand that, because my thing is, when you date outside your race, you already know what time it is. When you have children and they're mixed, you have to explain both heritages. So I'm not understanding why she's constantly bringing that up. If you're comfortable with who you're dating outside of your race, then that shouldn't have been a problem. Is it something in here that you need to heal self-esteem wise? I mean, I don't know.
All I have to say about Antionette is she's the woman Candace should have been.
That is true.
Monica, stop.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really care for her too much in the beginning, but I'm liking her now. I'm like, damn, this is who Candace should have been. As I see it play out on the screen, I'm like, look at this beauty pageant queen, right? Oh, I like her. Bishop, your thoughts? It was a touching scene. It was a moment.
It was very touching, and I don't have no huge problem with Antoinette. In my opinion, she may be smart in books, but to me, she seemed like a beautiful idiot. And I hate to say it because it's like what Schoolboy was saying. Like, what you expect? You're going to mix a child, and you're going to do add mixture. So it's like you say you're open to all races, but it's like, okay, are you open to not having children then? Because if you want children, I don't know what you expect. Are you going to make your husband be a cuck and you're going to get smashed up by a black dude or get black sperm and then have black children with your white husband? And you have to explain to your white husband, the kids that he's really not your father, but he is your father. Like, what do you plan on doing? Because if that's the case, you keep bringing up your ex-husband, and it sounds like y'all had a good relationship outside the children thing, because you keep bringing him up, and he from what it sounded like, he was a good guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. He just so happy he was white, and this is why my problem is with most people. It shouldn't matter what other people think about your relationship. It's the same thing about a guy talking about, well, I don't know why I date light-skinned women. Because you see all around, they pressure you into that. Some guys think like that. And they don't even know. And they're like, well, that dark-skinned chick, she's real beautiful. I like her. She has good head on shoulders. But they're trying to date folks on predicated on what they homeboys think. The same thing with her. Women do it to each other. They try to date somebody that is acceptable for their homegirls or their friends. And for her, she's trying to date according to what the world would think of her kids and her. It's like, it don't matter.
I don't, you know what? I think something happened. I think she got, because, I love her. I like her. Don't get me wrong now, but she seems a little childish. Yes. And I can imagine her being very needy in that relationship, always asking the husband to get her remote control, pass her Skittles, make her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And he probably got tired of the shit and cheated on her. And she's using this baby thing as an excuse. This biracial. Really don't make no Skittles. Come on, that girl had too many moments of intelligence for me to sit up there and believe she just didn't want to have biracial children.
Does she come off as a beautiful idiot?
Well, but his family called her the N-word. Something must have went down, something.
And I've experienced that. I've had friends where they get married and it's interracial, and then like they go, the family don't really. I mean, hell, I got a cousin. Yeah. His wife is white. Okay, we know Kathleen white. We went to the and we was at the wedding, Monica, and the people did not want us to sit next to, like, these people was pissed that they was getting married. But it's like, because all they thought was like, oh, well, he black, he ain't gonna be about nothing. And my cousin has been working at one bank all for 25 years. He's never dogged her out, never cheated, never did nothing. But because he was black, that was their main concerning issue. So I wondered, like, did they have some family members that had an issue because she was black? What was the real tea? Because I feel like we're not getting all of that.
I mean, we're not stupid. We're not going to sit up here and really buy this story that she just didn't want to have biracial kids. And that might have been part of it, but that's not the whole story. He must have cheated on her, or, she caught him in bed with a man. Something went down that we are just not privy to. But we're going to get to the bottom of it. If anybody will, I sure will.
Investigate it. CIA, FBI.
What's so interesting too? Like, when they only showed the dad that she was talking to, she was afraid to tell him that it was like $500,000. The reason why she reminds you of Candace, because she's the flip side. Candace was raised by her mother.
Right.
And it seemed like she was raised by her dad only.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's an insecurity there. And this is why she comes off very pageantry and almost like a whitewashed black girl. I like her and all, but she comes off a little whitewashed in my
Very
opinion.
Oreo cookie-ish. Yeah.
Like Lisa Turtle.
Yeah. Fee, thank you so much for the super chat. You know I love y'all. Love all. I'm listening and sipping. Hey, Bishop. Hey, Bishop.
Hey, Fee.
Oh, that was sweet.
Miss Washington, if you're nasty.
Amber's funny. Ooh. Amber is funny. She said, Monica can't stand candy just as much as me. Girl, you funny.
You know, I'm starting to develop not to like Candy because I loved Candy. I even loved her music. Don't think I'm not. I used to love that. I love the album. I'm like, that was a pretty good album, but I can see why she didn't make it though, because her voice is not everyone's. She don't have an overall friendly voice for everybody. Like I understood that though. That's why I know she's better as a songwriter than an actual singer. So I get why you don't like her, Monica, because I knew she wasn't everybody's cup of tea even back in the day when I was a kid.
Everybody ain't able, okay?
Ain't that the truth? Everybody can't deal with trout mouth. I mean, it's just too much. It's just too much for me.
I'm glad I wear my hat for all the shade.
No, Bishop, you know I love you, but you know, some people just deserve it. You know?
Yeah, some people gifts are other things. Like she's a terrific songwriter. You know, she's even good for features. Like with Rashida when she did "Legs to the Moon," I love that song. I like she did excellent as a chorus, but as a whole song,
no, no, ma'am, not the whole. No. Okay, so Tambra goes on a date. Does anyone care?
No.
Okay,
Fast
we'll keep
forward.
it moving.
I
Okay.
didn't even watch that part, but no, thank you.
The hair, the hat, it's just too much.
I fast forwarded. So.
Do you have a picture of the hat?
I'll get it. I said, well, she went and borrowed one of Bishop's hat. What is the hell is going on here? It's just too much. It's
Probably the closure wasn't quite done.
DP said Antionette is not telling us something. Yep.
No, something's wrong right there.
And also, Tambra ain't telling us something either.
Yeah. Her life is just boring. I mean, let's just be real. She don't got nothing. She got no kids, no man, no nothing going on. I mean, no shade, but I just don't understand why Carlos put her on the show. I mean,
she should have been a friend of the show. I really believe she could have been an awesome friend of the show where she came in, she could have came in gallivanting and then left with her hat into the wind. I would have enjoyed that, but if we got to watch a whole scene of you, was like,
just
no, ma'am.
Too much.
Just come to the brunch.
When you like that, be like Kenya Moore and be messy. When you got nothing else going on, no man that wants you, well, she finally got the child. But listen, when you damn near 50, you got to come with something else. You got to bring the drama, do something. You can't sit up there and act like that. Cherie said Monica is the DEA, CIA, FBI, IMF, oh Lord, and CPS, Child Protective Services.
You forgot Homeland Security as well.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
Y'all need to stop. Okay, y'all crack me up. I love the teacups. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the episode. So Latisha's Women Empowerment Brunch is here. The ladies are all decked out with their fascinators and brunch attire. Everything is off to a good start. All the ladies are smiling. They do a group affirmation, which I really liked. Everyone's smiling. Then they start to discuss colorism and racism. The convo to me was constructive. I enjoyed it. Everything's going well. But you could see the discomfort in Kaylon's face. You could just see it. She wasn't comfortable. Next thing you know, in the middle of the conversation, she jumps up and runs out the room and, she's crying. I'm going to just stop right there before I continue. Let's just address Miss Antionette interrupting the brunch outside. Antionette runs behind her naturally. That's her friend, so I get it. I understand why she ran behind her. Schoolboy, sound off on just that portion of it before we continue. Let me roll up my sleeves because
Because you know it's gonna get real.
I mean, for real.
I first of all, I had to pause my TV and I had to pause and marinate for a minute because I didn't understand. Why are you getting offended because Black women are having a real conversation about colorism? And I appreciated Carlos King because they didn't play with this scene about the topic, because you watching so many TV shows on reality TV, they play with the colorism word and they really don't really talk about it. They just play at it. You know, they pick at it like kids picking with their food. You know, so they really were having a conversation. And it's like, why, ma'am, why are you getting all upset running up out of the room? This is Black history. This is American history. It happens, ma'am. It's still happening. You can sit up here and say all day that your family is not racist. I'm not saying that your family is, ma'am. Nobody said that your family is racist. They're telling you, they're speaking of their experiences. I just really felt like she was out of place, number one, to even be in that scene with them to begin with. I don't know if that was a production plant. They said just go ahead and put her in the scene, you know, or because Latrice was not fooling with Fool-La-La with them, and she didn't like Marie, and she wasn't going to go to that brunch, so they just inserted her. But it was just really out of place for her to be there. And I'm just like, ma'am, you making it about you with these white woman tears. This is not the time, ma'am. You should have just sat there and listened and absorbed, because this was the time for her to learn and educate herself instead of making it about these Karen tears. I just was upset on that part.
Right. Yeah. Let me acknowledge this super chat really fast. Pamela, thank you so much. She says, I think Bishop and Ples make a beautiful couple. I think Bishop thinks that too.
You know, I got a couple DMs about that. I did not reply. I was like,
did you really?
I ain't say nothing.
I picked up on it. I see the little twinkle in your eye, Bishop.
Monica and her messy stuff.
I ain't trying to make you blush now. I'm just making an observation. Okay. Les, will you take off those glasses, please? And she did it too. I was like, okay. All right. And I also want to acknowledge a couple of other super chats before we move on. Mrs. C. Sunshine, Bishop is spitting bomb. What he said. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're getting a lot of love in the chat today, Bishop.
I appreciate it.
D. Stewie, thank you so much for the super chat. I like how the ladies bonded at the museum. Thank you, Monica, for having this live. Great discussions. Best wishes from the UK. Thank you, y'all. We are international, okay? Teacups are everywhere. Pamela Latham, thank you so much for the super chat. Well, that's the one I just read about you and Ples. See, now I'm taking screenshots of them because they come up the screen so fast. That lady, well, maybe I should continue a little bit before Bishop's comments because it basically encompasses everything. So let me continue. Okay, so Antionette followed behind her. Kaylon says, white people are not like that. And they don't hate Black people, as if she's a spokesperson for all white people. I'm just looking at my TV like, what? Antionette explains to her the women were not trying to offend her, and she eventually comes back into the room. Sound off on that, Bishop. What are your thoughts on that scene?
Okay, I'm gonna be quite honest. I was getting to there until the show started. Our show started. So I was trying to play catch up.
Okay, no, I'll comment if you want to catch up real quick.
No, I mean I have to watch it, but y'all could you give me a brief synopsis of what all happened in that scene?
So in that scene, the ladies were at the brunch table. They were discussing racism and colorism. And then you could see the look of discomfort over Kaylon. She's sitting there, and then all of a sudden she just gets up and she runs out the room and she starts crying, but there's no tears, of course. It's all dry. And Antionette runs behind her, and another lady too. I don't know her name, and they're comforting her. They're saying, because she's saying, all white people are not like that. We're just not. Well, she didn't even say all. She goes, white people are not like that. As if she was speaking for the entire white community. white people are not like that. My family, we're not like that. So, here you go, Antionette, patting her on the back and saying, Kaylon, it's okay. It's okay. I know you're not like that. I know you're not. And then they return back into the room. So basically, Miss Kaylon was making it about her, stealing the moment, because she wasn't comfortable with the discussion of race, a real conversation. Listen, if I was white, I would want to be in the room. I would feel privileged to be in the room to gain some understanding of the other side, because they really just don't have an understanding of it. They don't. Okay. But instead, she made it, in my opinion, she said she wasn't racist, but I think she's extremely racist. And at that moment, okay, white guilt, I guess, or Caucasian guilt came over her. And she used her privilege to make the situation all about her. Mm-hmm. How dare you? How dare you? So that's a little backstory.
Okay, so we're dealing with Rebecca, who needs to be seen.
Crying Karen.
Crying Karen. Yeah, okay.
Or courtside Karen from LeBron this week.
Right. But okay, so I've seen the commercials of it, but I didn't know the intel and detail. I'm glad you specified what my thoughts were going to be about it. There's a lot of white people that's unaware of their privilege, and they exercise it right in front of you like it's something, second nature, which it is second nature to them. And they don't understand that they're operating off it. Like, for instance, my mom, she had a good friend, which we're still good friends with their families. And she's like, you treat me different when you see other black people at work. You act like I'm not there. And my mom like, oh, she felt so bad. Then I had to explain to my mom, like, well, no, that's kind of disrespectful of her because it's not that many black people. And I said, matter of fact, she don't understand that that's how we feel all the time. So, with these individuals, they can't take the fact that we have camaraderie with one another. And then we start sharing notes with one another. And when we swap notes and stuff like that, and they're in the midst of it, what's happening is they're having white guilt. And what's going on with the white guilt? They're afraid that once we swap notes, we turn around and look at her and be like, get her. They think we're gonna do. They think that we're gonna do to them what they have done to us. And I'm sorry, we're not like that. Matter of fact, we're trying to just get through life and trying to thrive, and we're trying to make it better for us. Now you're afraid that if we thrive, that we're gonna turn around and get you back. And it's like, no. It's like we ain't got time for that. We're trying to make sure our kids are okay as well. But that goes to show you the guilt that they have in their minds about what they have done. And it's like, well, you could be the person that stops it. And like what you said, Monica, she should have thought it as a privilege. But in her mind, she knows what her family and them have done to black people, especially her living in Mississippi. Her family must own a couple plantations.
That's her guilt. That was her guilt acting out in that moment. And if you ask me, she was acting like they was going to lynch her. Like, oh my God, no, I wasn't massa. No, girl.
Now I did. One of the scholars in Teacup sent me a Twitter message saying that girl is actually related to someone that was a part of the Confederacy. Like her family is, back in the generation, so my thing is, no wonder you got a little bit offended and your feathers got ruffled. Because if they did research and they knew about who you were and where you came from, they knew exactly what it was.
Yeah. White guilt. It was the guilt.
And her name is Kaylon.
Slaves had revolted. Yeah, she was acting like the slaves had revolted on the plantation and they was going to take it over. That's how she was acting, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, she looked scared. She really did.
And now, a lot of black people and white people suffer from plantation mindsets.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We think it's one-sided with us. We call how some people be acting like slaves on our end, but there's some white people that act like they're slave masters.
Okay, now I just fell out. Cherie said Monica is also part-time mall security.
Everybody stayed in the room.
That was a good one. Flashlight cop. That was a good one. That was a good
I love it.
Where your flashlight? You got to shine on somebody.
Y'all are preaching today. Bishop, you are making some amazing points. Schoolboy, you as well. So then when they finally come back into the room and everything settles down now, she continues to look uncomfortable. So, and everybody is talking like, are you okay? What's wrong with you? And this pisses Marie off because it's not about you, Kaylon. This is not your event. This is Latisha's event. So, you know, Marie being big and bad wolf as she is, she like, I'm gonna turn this thing around. Y'all ain't gonna be, this is not about you. So Marie, you know, everybody is trying to comfort Kaylon's white fragility. And Marie is tired of biting her tongue, and you could just see her just getting pissed off. And she finally says, you know, this is not about you. This is about my girls' brunch. Can we bring this thing back around? And Kaylon snaps back with some smart comment. And then Marie, you know, she barks back. You're not going to talk to her like that, okay? And Kaylon says, come here. I think Marie says something like, don't make me go over there. And she's like, well, come here. And she's like, come here. Girl, what? This ain't the 1930s. You don't talk to me like that. And the two of them just go at it. The councilman gets up and leaves, and it's a wrap. Schoolboy, sound off on that scene, that portion of the scene.
Okay, so I'm kind of like indifferent on both sides. I can sympathize in two different ways. Now I get it, that's your homegirl event, and you was trying to, you know, we tired of the white woman crying and stuff, and I get it because I was irritated too. But at the same time, that was Tambra Cherie's job to reel the conversation back. She was the host. You're not the host, Marie. Okay, you got that takeover spirit too. You developed that takeover spirit from the Scots on Love and Marriage Huntsville. You need to stop with that takeover spirit. Sometimes you need to know when to sit down. That was not your moment, and that was not for you to even try to interject. That was the host's time to interject, and that's Latisha's event, not yours. Okay, and I get it, but you to me, you did too much. Yes, I was irritated, but it was you know, it was a catch-22 for me on that portion. And then at the same time, I'm just like, okay, Marie, you know, I know you're trying to go up for your friend, but sometimes you need to let your friend handle her own business. That was her event. You know, that was her event. She should have been the one to have brought that back around. That just was not your place. And I love the fact, you know, and like, once again, I still don't understand why Kaylon was there. I'm stuck on that portion. Like, why was she even there? And what was the other portion of the question? My mind slipped.
What was your thoughts on that scene? Basically, like, you pretty much answered it with Marie and her going back and forth.
I mean, it just and the other portion I want to say is when the girl said "come here," that was meaning because Marie came at the aggressive point of like, you want to fight me. What she said. So I would have said "come here" too. And that's whether I was purple, black, white, green, and yellow. I would have said "come here" too. She took that out of context and flipped that into a racial thing because it was already kind of sensitive about the whole racial point right then. The girl was telling you to come here because you said, "Come on, y'all."
Well, Kaylon made it racial. Kaylon made it racial.
She took that out of context. Yeah, and that's where I think we got sidetracked on that. But you know, once again, Marie be coming in there on 20 anyway, just because she just want to fight everybody, and that you know, sometimes she need to learn how to dial that back.
She needs therapy. She needs a lot of intense therapy to heal the wounds inside of her. Because I used to be like that. Just angry all the time. And it had a lot to do with unresolved issues within me. And I had to find inner peace, and I had to forgive. She needs a lot of help. And it really is shocking that she runs a business about, you know, providing therapy and healing and mental health.
Look at Dorothy.
You're not a good. They need to do her like they want to do Martell. We need to take you off the face of the company and put somebody else in. They need to do her like they want to do Marsha. You know? Okay. School Bishop, what are your thoughts on that part of the drama at the bruncheon?
The problem is Marie don't know how to handle herself. And I know she's trying to turn up for the cameras, but you're still embarrassing yourself in front of councilmen and stuff like that. You got to be mindful of that. If she was smart, should have been like my auntie. My auntie, like when she want to get you together, she'll get up from her seat, walk slowly, and this is church type of women. This is how they do it. Go up to you and whisper in your ear, and she'll say this: "You better sit your butt down. Now, if you get back up, I'm gonna handle you." And then she smile, but the whole time she patting your knee and squeezing it, like you better sit your butt down. Like honestly, like and you know and you know I learned to do that because you still want to be dignified, especially depending on who you're in front of. And then there's times where you just turn up and flip a table over. But that wasn't a time because you had dignitaries and people that were in high places there, and you got to learn how to maneuver. This is why I tell people read the 48 Laws of Power. It helps you to maneuver within the court. You know, like in the court, meaning at the kingdom, where you still have to conduct yourself with respect. Because whether or not everything is about perception, it does not matter about reality and how what they did was wrong. Because there's a lot of things done wrong. And the thing is, it kind of reminds me, it goes back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Monique did something wrong because she went out of character and she made herself look bad in front of the court, which is us, you know, the viewers. So people that used to like her, they're like, oh my God, she shouldn't have to lay her hands on Candace, which made her look bad. Now, the reality was that Candace was running her mouth, and on the streets, when you run your mouth like that, you get dealt with. But the fact is, it's about perception. You're on camera. It's going to still make you like a villain. And the thing is, she wanted to be back being a good superhero in front of everybody. So what she did is she said, let me gather all you brows together, and I got a binder and a tab ready for all of y'all. And that was smart because it's about perception. And she said that too. She said she had to learn about how she had to make sure how the viewer seen her. So she regained the trust of the people back. And now Candace is looking like a villain. Right. Whether or not you give me these origami tears, it's that. So Marie needs to learn that, because it does not matter about how you felt and what was really going on at that time, which was true. You should have dealt with her and gathered Kalani together. But but you can't do that, because then it makes you like you're a pit bull, because this is now your second incident. No matter of fact, it's your fourth. Yeah. With 2 family members and 2 people on the outside.
She's not smart, Bishop. She really does. She needs to get intense therapy before she can even accept the 48 laws of power. She can't even accept that into her mind because she's so angry and so bitter and so aggressive, you know?
Yeah.
Sierra, thank you so much for the super chat. Love you guys. Marie was wrong. She made it about her. She should not have been the one to interject because it was not her event. Well, yeah, Schoolboy did say that. Or maybe he had taken her outside, you know, play it real cool and say, hey, Kaylon, can I talk to you outside? And then when they step outside, listen, bitch, you ain't gonna make this shit about you, okay? This ain't about you. Okay, it's my friend's event. You know, I'm probably gonna pull her all the way out. I said, come on, let's go talk all the way out.
I love it.
And then I would have went off, you know? Because it's like,
that's some stuff I would have did.
Come on, no, come on. No, I ain't got no problem with you. No, I'm gonna have a problem with you in a minute.
I understand what you're going through. And listen, you have every right to feel that way. Let's go talk about it outside. I've been there. Just make some shit up. Once you get outside, it's like, look, you're not gonna come up in here acting like you better than all of us. Who the hell are you? This ain't your event. Shit, you better pipe down. Yeah.
When you get busted in your shit up in here.
and you know, that's one thing. That's one thing that we, I hate to say it like this, but it's going to make sense. But I know a lot of people are like, no, you know, everybody don't listen to what the real point is. We need to take the good parts of white people and discard the bad parts of white people. Now, the good parts of white people, they don't show their natural behind in front of people of high respect and high regards. Now, with us, we don't care. We're going to get crunk. But I'm like, no, don't do that. Like what you said, pull it to the side and say whatever you need to say to get her outside and act like you're on her side, and then gather her all the way together. And even then, some white people don't even go off on you. They're like, well, I understand. I see your point of view, even though they're by yourself with you. But, if you want to be invited to these brunchings and luncheons with us Black people, or with our friends or with us, you're going to have to conduct yourself a little better, or we will no longer have you here. We'll thank you for your services, and you can be on your way.
You gotta get nice nasty with
that's
them.
nice nasty.
That's why you get to do them, because sometimes you have to bring them back. You have to gather them to bring them back and let them know this is not you don't run this.
Right.
That's a way of shooting a warning shot. You won't be in this circle no more.
Exactly. Just like Marie said, this is Latisha. This is what's the girl's name? Latisha. This is her show. You're here because of her. She just did it the wrong way. She didn't execute right. She shouldn't have done it in front of all the people.
It's how you say it.
It's how you say it. Yeah, exactly. And she shouldn't have done it in that room in front of all them people. She should have pulled the cameras outside. Because they would have followed her too. And then she should have just let her, give her the business outside, but in a nice, nasty type of way, in a very stern type of way. Even like point the finger in her face. I like that. So point, just point a little bit. Just a little finger, just a little bit, But yeah, Kaylon was doing the most. Marie does what she does. I mean, we expected her to do that, did we not? She always delivers. So Antionette also needs to be addressed because she coddled Kaylon a little bit too much for my liking.
That's that being Black and being whitewashed and want to be accepted by white folks. That's exactly what that is. So I'm not even going to go there, because I done dated Black women that's like that, and they like to placate to that side, and I just can't get with it. And and I have been in spaces where I dated somebody who their friend was singing that song, that Sweetie song, My Type, and when she said the N word, said the little cuss word, the white girl tried to say that, and she had to pre-warn the white. No, she should already know not to say that, because I was finna go off.
Right. Yeah, they get too comfortable sometimes. Someone said in the chat, just like you said, Schoolboy, that Kaylon's family led the Confederacy. So there you go. There you have it. We saw it. Okay. She was acting like the slaves was set free, revolted on the plantation. She really was, like, to me, very intimidated and scared. She just looked so uncomfortable. Like, let me just get the hell out of here. I cannot deal with this. She wasn't even listening to what they were saying, really, because it was a conversation about how they're affected by colorism too, light skin versus dark skin, and how they're treated. Racism affects them differently based on colorism. That was the discussion, and Miss Kaylon took it way out of proportion and made it all about her. Listen,
okay.
Carlos King, I think you have something on your hands here. I'm going to continue watching. What about you, Schoolboy?
I mean, it's cool for what it's worth. I mean, I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to. I feel like I'm missing some things in this editing. We need to do better. We need to do better with this editing. They're getting real TV-ish. We getting real TV-ish because we're not getting everything. And I really want them to really start telling us more of the story, because when I have people in my comments that are on the show and saying that there's scenes that were missing to that, y'all need to do better.
Antionette, are y'all really telling me that I'm not surprised, but if y'all tell me she the house ninja, now it's making sense. I'm sorry, Marie, I called you the house ninja for the producers. Antionette is the house ninja. If she's running behind somebody and ain't correcting her friend, that lets me you give me Sheree vibes. Cause y'all remember on season 9, the end of that, or 10, the reunion when Kim Zolciak was saying all that stuff. Racism don't exist. It's actually the internet did that. It's in my world. I would have bopped her in her face. Cause even Croy was like, he was shocked. He was like, "You really saying there ain't no racism, girl? Is you crazy?"
No, we only say that for the house. We don't talk like that outside.
Well, even then, he was like, "Nah, you lying. There is racism. Now, we're not going to be crazy," because he was in the NFL, so he know there's racism.
Well, he knows, but I'm saying both of them are racist, but they keep it. Troy's smart enough to know to keep it behind closed doors.
But to even say that racism don't exist, that's the crazy part. Like, come on now, ma'am. Really?
Well, yeah, it don't exist in her world, because she lacks compassion for anyone else's struggle, for our struggle. She's not here for it. She doesn't see it. Kim Zolciak is what she is, child. She's never gonna change.
And for Sheree to sit there,
exactly,
and still friends with her,
and made excuses for her too.
Yeah,
that lets you know where Sheree was. So
that lets you know, and she is a label whore. I'd say it like that, but she like, hey, this costs this much money. I'm like, what's wrong with these people like Mary Crosby or whatever her name is, and Giselle? Just because you could kind of not afford it for Giselle, but just because you can buy it, don't mean that it looks good together. It's like, who cares how much it costs? I'm sorry, I can buy some knockoff stuff and make it look great, look awesome.
Right. Fee wants to know what's up with Essie. Are we going to address that? Let's address it next week because we got some tea on that, child. We were talking about it before the live started. So, yeah, we're going to get into that relationship, that unique relationship between Marie and Essie. Well, we got another recap to do. We're also recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're going to end this live, and we have just stay on the page, y'all. Just come out of this live. We're going to go to the just switching rooms. We're just switching rooms. Okay, close this live, and then we're going to go to the other live, the Love and Marriage Huntsville recap, and we'll be over there. So with that said, we're going to end this one. I thank y'all for watching. I love you all. And I hope y'all ain't watching the Super Bowl. That stuff is boring, y'all. Who's watching?
So is. Anybody trying to see the weekend? Girl, bye.
It's the weekend?
Oh, Lord.
They getting desperate. You're supposed to get icons. Yeah. I'm sorry, weekend's not seasoned enough to be on the halftime. Well, now he could be a friend of the halftime, but not on the whole halftime.
That's who Jay-Z and Rock Nation picked. So, they run that
now or something. They must. Pamela, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "I lost my job 2 years ago when a white woman called me the N-word. I am from Mississippi. I don't play that mess." Yeah, child. What did she do? What did you do? She said, "I lost my job." That's all I'm gonna say.
No, you can tell us that you lost it. Hey, what happened?
Yeah, tell us what happened. I'm so sorry that happened to you, by the way. They really will bait you into doing things. She probably was trying to get you fired. That's why she said that. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
I remember this. My boss, right quick. She made a statement. I was in the break room, and the break room has like a wall, whatever. And then when you go a little closer, you can't see nobody. So if you're in front of the microwave. But if you step back a little bit, you can see. So my boss, and there was a bunch of them sitting at the table. It was a few of them. And she was like, "So, BJ, I have a question for you." I said, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, why doesn't black women hair grow long like other people hair? I said, "No, it grows long." I said, our hair actually grows out. And a lot of people, their hair is really, really long. I said, "Our hair grows just like anybody else's hair grow out." And she's like, "Oh," she was expecting me to say something different, like we just all have naturally short hair and it never grows. And when I went forward so you couldn't see my face anymore, I was like this. I was mad.
Into having a reaction.
Yeah, I was mad.
I'm glad you didn't give it to her, Bishop.
No. By then I did my being angry and going off because I used to argue with everybody. But by then, thank God I grew out of that, and people helped me get through that. But I was mad. I was like, "No, this heifer didn't." Yeah. And I can't stand her anyways. But I'm like, "Are you gonna ask me something like that?" And the other black boss wasn't there for her to ask. Because she knew that they'll probably really got her together. But I was like, "You're not gonna say that about my sisters like that." I'm like, you're not family.
Right. Right. Who says that though?
Yeah, who says that?
Y'all go on and hit the like button for our girl before we switch rooms. Yes, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. What rooms are we switching to? So if you come out of this live, just come out of it. Go back to the main page on YouTube, the All About the Tea main page. You'll see another live set up for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're keeping it separate so people don't have to watch 2-hour videos and complain. Because they start They don't like that. They don't like it. All
Yeah.
right, y'all. I'll see y'all over there. I'll see y'all. Bye. Bye, y'all. Bye, everyone.